Hello, I'm Six,
I'm Strat.
and we're here for the episode 3 of I'd Have Been Your Daddy. How you doing, mate?
I'm all right, mate. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good as I broke up from work today. Just did the last day for a break up for a couple of weeks. I just needed to get a break, so I'm on the gym.
Shocking. Oh, I'm on the Diet Coke.
Ah, that's right. Best thing for you.
It's totally not. Just drink water, everybody.
Yeah, I've got that as well. I've got water, and I've got a beer for afterwards, which is a Jesse James American style IPA for those that can see it.
Yeah. I'll have a bit of that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think this one's from Aldi, so it's not mega expensive or anything. Sadler's Brewery, that one.
I had a few of those brew dog over the weekend. You know those tangerine ones.
Yeah.
Oh man,
They're tasty.
Very nice. I had a few of those over the weekend. Very nice, and some punk as always.
Awesome. I think Nat's been drinking some of those that you left for us as well. So we'll talk a little bit actually about that weekend because it was fabulous. But before we get into all that great stuff, let's start off with the mascot. So what you got today for us?
I really couldn't think of one today. I was struggling, so I just went with one of my favourite ones. Is the I think I've got to get him this way.
That's it.
Hey, is the Pip-Boy, the bobblehead.
Nice.
Can you see him?
I can.
From Fallout. You got the different voltage from 111. You got one with Fallout 3. You got one with Fallout 4 and Fallout 76. So I got 3. I got 3 of the set, but you can get all the different ones. But yeah, I like him. They were collectible in the game. You could go around and find in the wasteland. They were very tough to find, and it's giving the classic. That's what I always do.
Sweet. That's ace, mate. So that's a cool mascot, Strat. I do like that. Nice mascot. I got a mascot today as well. This is my Kurt Cobain Funko Pop.
Oh yeah, very nice.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's got his guitar there, and I think there's a few variants actually of this, but I've just got this one. That's him with his cardigan, like on MTV.
Oh yeah, on the MTV Unplugged.
Yeah,
I do like that performance.
Yeah, it's one of the best, and there's actually a fair bit of background about that show, and I didn't know about, and I watched a documentary about it, and it was just so different to what I expected because when I was young, that record came out and that performance, it was in the 90s, and I was quite young. I was only a teenager, and I listened to it, and I saw obviously the show on TV as well, and I was just blown away. I was blown away, like most of us, I suppose, because how professional they were in terms of the quality of the sound, that the live performance just felt like them, if you know what I mean. It didn't feel put on or anything. It just felt like them.
Is that the way they do The Man That Sold the World?
Yeah, the David Bowie cover. Yeah, it's so good, so good, and it was just like the reaction of the audience as well was so into it. You could tell. Everyone was excited. So when I watched his documentary, right, some things came out of it that I had no idea about. One of them was the exec who was running the show was terrified because he thought they was going to do all their hits. All right, he thought they'd turn up, do all their hits, and that would be what he expected. And they didn't. They didn't play the hits. Right, they only played, I think, "Come As You Are" was like the only hit they did. And other than that, they played everything else that he didn't expect. Songs that he didn't know they did, and a lot of covers. So that completely like threw him off. And he's like, "Oh no, this isn't going to work." But it did work. It did work, and that was a beautiful thing because that's what you want when you see a super group like that. They didn't deliver the expected. They came out with the unexpected. It was awesome and memorable, and that was special. And a lot of those songs, really, most of them, they never played it to a live audience before. So that was the one thing. The other thing that was quite surprising is actually Kurtz apparently was very nervous and didn't think he could pull off the show. And I didn't know that.
Yeah,
But that's what they said.
it was brilliant. I do like that one a lot.
Yeah. He was all nervous, and then he actually ended up doing a great show. Even he didn't recognise it at the time, but obviously we all see it as a masterpiece now. And the way, the tone on that acoustic is just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Anyway, that's me gushing about that. So let's talk about some other stuff. So I want to have a little bit of a rant about something, but before I do that, I wanted to say to you, we had a great weekend at the Ludlow Festival, so I thought we could have a little bit of tune the cud around that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was brilliant, wasn't it? Just sort of not last minute, but we planned it, didn't we? We had a great time.
Yeah.
The Ludlow Festival, can I say? We had some fantastic drinks and burgers and hung out, and just the weather was just perfect, wasn't it? I got sunburnt. I was red when I came back. It was perfect, really. Had such a great time, didn't we?
Yeah, the weather was good considering it was supposed to be a bit dodgy. Yeah,
it just turned out fantastic. That Sunday afternoon, or Saturday late, he got nicer later, didn't he?
Yeah.
In the afternoon, I was filled up on cheese and beer and all kinds, and then was it called the Beefy Boys, that burger van?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, Hereford they're from, aren't they?
Yeah, Herefordshire beef. Yeah.
I would try and locate near there if I could.
I mean, I've been wanting to try that for so long, and I haven't had chance, and so it was a great opportunity, and we took it, and it was a lot of fun. As you said, the beer, so many different beers there that were great. And if you're going to have a little break from your diet, if you're going to have a treat and you're going to have an event that you're going to just go and enjoy, that's exactly the kind of thing where you can have something different that you wouldn't normally get, and you feel like it was worth having that little break from your diet.
I always think that if you're going to break your diet, at least make it worth it, because there's no point going half and then not enjoying it, and you've done the damage already. Do you know what I mean? And I mean, I was straight back on my diet on Monday.
Yeah.
Right back on.
It's a bit like buying a guitar, isn't it? There's no point going half, and then it's like, it's no good because I got the neck. There's no fucking body on this guitar. You know what I mean? There's no bridge. It ain't gonna work. You need the whole guitar.
Yeah. But I want one of those Bjorn guitars. I do. Really bad. I got gas for one of them Les Pauls, bro. Time. They only do them in white now. Stopped doing them in black. That was the initial run, like his Gibson.
Yeah, they'll come up those second hands eventually. I mean, it depends how many they made and if they do a reissue. I know that some of the guitars, particularly Epiphones as well, have got great demand now, and there are some reissue stuff going on. I mean, for example, the Chris Cornell 335 in green. That's one that I need, and of course it sold out. It was way before he passed away that they was working on that. It came out, sold out. His signatures sold out, and I'm not a signature type of guy. I don't normally go after that, but he was a hero for me. But then I also want that kind of guitar, and I love green, so it kind of all just, stars aligned on it. Well, it's so pricey, man.
I like the Zakk Wylde Bullseyes, like my one that you're doing up. I love Zakk Wylde from Aussie, but the real reason there's actually a real reason why I like that particular one is the band Fozzy.
Yeah.
Stuck Mojo.
Oh, I love them. Yeah.
Well, there's a guitar player, I think his name was Mike Martin. He played for Stuck Mojo and Fozzy. He was Fozzy's original lead player, and he played in Stuck Mojo when they toured in the last incarnation, was like 2008. And Mike Martin actually had one. He had the Gibson version.
Yeah.
He played it live every night, and me and Hank went to a few of the dates, quite a few. Every time Fozzy came round and Stuck Mojo came round, we'd always follow him. And I got to see him play it like every night, that Gibson. And as much as it is a Zach Wild custom, it's sort of like from his show, the Buzzsaw in the camo. It was stuck mojo, and that's why I sort of had to get one. But you know what? They're increasing in value. Those are. So if you look online now, like 600 quid second hand. Some of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not making any more. Made in Korea, unsung plan, 2006.
That's it. I mean, I think when they do a reissue, there's sort of two things they'll do: either a reissue within the first few years, or a reissue many years later. If the artist has passed away and he was a big artist, or she, then I think we're going to see that. Like, and that's what's happened with so many. For example, they've done the John Lee Hooker Epiphone signature, and he's passed away a while now. And of course, he was a big star, so he's got the reissue treatment on his Epiphone, which is a beautiful instrument. I like one of those as well. And they're around the £600 mark. Fantastic, limited edition. You know, comes with all the stuff. And then, like I was saying with Chris Cornell, they've left it some years. He's passed away, and now the demand is massive again. They're like, oh, all these fans really want that guitar, so they're reissuing it now. They're actually manufacturing them as we speak, a second run. But I don't know how the heck I can get my hands on one of those. I just can't afford it. So I've got to hope someone will be selling one off at some point in the future. You know, what I need is for someone who's bought it to have some terrible financial situation come up. You know, I wouldn't wish that on anyone, but I do wish it on them so that they can sell it to me for a good price.
That's not good. That's not good.
It's bad karma.
That's bad juju. Yeah, back to the Ludlow festival.
Yeah.
So the beers that we tried, I was hanging around the craft ale section quite a lot, the session IPA section, because that's sort of the thing I'm into. Did you have a favourite from the event? Can you remember?
I was pretty mellowed by that. I'm trying to think. So I did like No Comply. That was a nice one.
I had No Comply. I like that one. I had one called Tutti Frutti, and it sold out in like the first.
Yeah.
There about an hour, and it had sold out, and I had like 2 glasses of that.
Yeah, I had that as well. I had, what was that one? Something monster. There was Leviathan.
Leviathan.
Yeah.
And, there was another monster, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Cerberus or something. There was another one.
Yeah, I had that other one as well, and the one with the wolf on it. That was quite nice.
I don't remember the names because I think I was just getting drunk. I think I was really drunk.
That was exactly what I was just thinking. It's hard to remember them when you're drinking.
I remember standing in a tent, really drunk and hot. Standing there sort of looking at the band, and then standing there in the afternoon, and I was like, shall I drink more or not? I've got to walk back. I don't know. It was
the bit where we had to fight our way through all the crowds to get to the cocktails. I enjoyed that.
Oh God, yeah, I had a mojito. Yeah, I do like a mojito. That sweet brown sugar and mint.
I had 2 yesterday, mate. And
finest rum. The finest rum, white rum, brown sugar, mint, and just a splash of like either a bitter lemon or like Schweppes, but a bitter lemon's nice too.
Yeah, sharp.
It wakes you up. That does. It wakes your palate up. You know, if you've been a bit dull on the old ale, get a mojito down. It gets you going. You know.
Yeah, and that's the face. That's the face I love. That's the one.
Are we still talking about the beer?
As well. So let's just wrap up the weekend. So what do we do? So it was a Friday night. It was a Saturday. The Saturday morning you came down, isn't it? And we looked at some guitar stuff, and the time seemed to fly past on that Saturday morning, I found.
Oh, and yeah.
Then, my bro come over, you met him.
Yeah, same bug, same geezer.
Yeah.
Nice fella. Had more chat about gear.
Yeah.
Proper gearheads in the room.
That's it. That's
It was
it.
like, I think we got there about 10:30, and by the time we left, it was like 2 in the afternoon, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's about right. It's the right time because now you can just hit the food and drink and it's okay because you've waited.
And there was no rush. There was no rush. I mean, I
Mm.
think I revolted you with the Scotch egg. I've never seen somebody
Oh.
look so pale in my entire life.
Was that the Sunday or was that the Saturday? I can't remember.
I think it was the Sunday. I think.
Yeah.
No, it was the Saturday, wasn't it? Because we went outside first and we went to get your lad a Scotch egg, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I remember the huge queue for the bank. Oh,
it was a queue for the bank. We had to get you sorted. And we ended up walking down some street for miles to just get some cash. And then I was a bit peckish, and then I saw these Scotch eggs, and yeah, I was like, yeah. And yeah,
I love Scotch eggs.
You look like you'd seen a ghost.
It was just what was in the Scotch egg. I think that was the issue. I mean, I don't normally eat, fetuses. I just think I don't know what you're thinking, mate.
I don't know. I had to ask her to get them from under the counter because they were in. Basically, you have to eat them undercover because it's a sin.
Yeah.
You have to sort of hide them when you're eating them.
Yeah, it's because you get covered in blood as well. It just bathing in blood. Great band, by the way. But...
I must admit, the black pudding Scotch egg tasted very nice.
That's what they tell me. That's what they tell me.
It was very nice. I'm sure if you actually tried it as a Scotch egg, as an adult now, you might actually like it and appreciate it, but it's the same. It's always the same. Once you've had something in your life that you don't like, as a young person, the thought of it just puts you off completely, and you just can't.
Yeah.
Some people can't move past that.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. Yeah, it is. It's like a placebo effect, and also that experience I had in Denmark with, the sort of blood garlic pie thing. It just kind of revolted me. But I remember a situation where I was in Indonesia. And the girl I was seeing at the time was Indonesian. We went to this restaurant and we took a couple of friends and we was talking. And I treated us all to an Italian meal in this really nice restaurant. The pasta was to die for. It's so good. And I forget what we had altogether, but I know that one of the girls had meatballs, right? She had the meatballs and it was so good. But afterwards, she found out it had pork in it. And
meatballs generally do. They're a mix of pork and beef usually. Good quality ones are beef for the stodge, and the meatiness, and the pork gives it just a sweetness.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Because the ones that I think she'd had before was like the IKEA ones, and I think they're beef.
Well, they're meant to be beef. I think they're horse, personally.
I don't know, but I think she'd had those, and she just didn't think about it. And then after she'd had it, oh, this is so tasty. What is this? What's all? And then when they waited, those are the pork meatballs. The problem is she was a Muslim, so that went down like a lead balloon. And what can you do, right? So I think it does happen to people, and then even though it tasted great at the time, it's kind of, oh no, what have I done? And she wasn't best happy, but it's one of those things. But anyway, okay, so we've wrapped up, I think, the weekend pretty much for that. Let's talk about something else. So let me get this rant out of the way. Let's get into this, right?
Hit me with it.
You're my sounding board, bro. I need to lay it all out. So let me set the scene. I'm not going to say any names for this because I just want to keep it legit. And I think that's the right thing to do. And it's just a case of getting it off my chest, I think, is probably the thing to say. So let's talk about that. So first of all, there's a chap, and he was talking to me. He'd seen me play before, and he was sort of like, oh, we should get together and maybe do a band, you know what I mean, see what happens. Like, okay, talk to him. And he likes metal and rock and stuff like that, so that was pretty awesome, right? Seems like a nice guy. And then we start chatting, and one of the things that really sort of confused me, as it were, is that he didn't know what he was going to do in this band, right? It was more, let's just go with the flow and see what happens. Like, well, that's cool. Okay, that's fine. But normally, you know this yourself, being in a few bands, when you're talking to someone about doing some sort of music project, you've got some concept probably where you're starting from. You know what I mean? And then you might do whatever needs to be done down the road, but you kind of know where you're starting from. But there wasn't any of that, so I didn't take it too seriously, yeah, because I didn't know what I was going to do. But the thing is, it turns out this guy has no gear at all. Like, he literally has zero equipment. Right, he has no instruments. He's got no microphone. I don't even know if he owns a plectrum, right? So, and he's saying, like, he could drum, he could play guitar, he can sing, he can do all these things, but he doesn't have any gear, and he hasn't done it in a very long time.
Okay.
All right, so that's the situation. I'm like, okay, all right, that's interesting. And he doesn't drive as well, okay, which I don't, so that's fine. Right. And I kind of like, okay, so maybe that's why he doesn't know what he wants to do, because maybe he's thinking, I'll reset it. But then he's saying, oh no, I could just come around your house and we can have a jam. And I'm thinking, so you're a guy, I don't know you at all, right? I don't know anything about you. I don't know what you can do. I don't know, you know what I mean? You're kind of vague about it all, but you want to come around my house and jam on my gear. And I'm kind of thinking, and you can't even play. You haven't even played. I'm like, okay, that's an interesting proposition. And then it gets worse, right? Because then it's like, okay, then it's, well, we should like involve your wife, and she could like play in the band. And I'm like, okay, that's probably not a good idea, because she's busy. She's a mom. She works. She studies. She doesn't really have the time. That's just the way it is. We don't get a lot of times. And he wouldn't take no for an answer. Like, someone who's kind of like, they keep talking the way round back to the same thing, like going in a cycle, right?
This sounds, I'm disturbed already.
Right, you can see why it gets worse.
Is it going to get worse? I think it's going to get worse in a minute. I've just got a feeling.
And it was kind of like, I was trying to explain to him, well, yeah, that's probably not, likely to happen. And then he doesn't really accept it. And so I started giving reasons, like, well, these are the reasons why. It's because she works, she does shifts, she's tired, she gets sciatica, she, she's still learning to play. She's not ready to join a band. She doesn't want to, is the main reason. She's not, she hasn't not motivated to do that. In the future, maybe, yes, but not right now. Mate, wouldn't have it, no matter which way I put it. So you can start to imagine I'm starting to get a bit annoyed.
Yeah.
And this person's a bit bizarre. So yeah, I found that to be quite frustrating, right? And then the other guy that he wants to bring in on this supposed group, right? Totally another guy, right? He's now talking about borrowing my gear, right? So I've spent lots of money, as you know, I work hard, buying my gear. This guy wants to borrow my gear. And I'm like, no. And then you find out, yeah. And this guy's like, he's got no real job, not like a good job anyway, right? So he can't afford to replace anything that breaks or fix anything or anything like that, right? So that's not good. They don't even have a PA or anything like that. They've got nothing, right? Nothing at all. And it just doesn't make sense. And then this other guy who's supposed to be part of it, who goes on about wanting to learn and he's going to get the gear, but he never actually does it. Lots of time passes and he doesn't do any of it. So that's basically sort of that situation, and it kind of frustrated me over a period of time. And this is my first venting of that.
I didn't even know this was going on.
Yeah, it's going on for months and months, and I've kind of like come to the point where I'm fed up of it, because it's like, it's not reasonable. It's not a reasonable proposition. You don't try and do any kind of musical project to have with no gear, right? That just, I don't know how that you even approach that. You can't say you're serious about learning if you don't even know what instrument you want to play.
The con, mate, to be honest. I've done it myself. I loaned a player 2 guitars to encourage them to join my band because they had a guitar, but it was shit. And like, it wouldn't do it. So I liked the person. I thought, I'm going to take a chance on you. You know, I learned a guy, not naming any names, just a long time ago, 2 guitars. And I said, the condition was, I'll lend you these 2 guitars, but the one hadn't got a case. The one had a case. The one hadn't got a case. And I said, well, I'll lend you these guitars because they're surplus, but they are worth something to me. I'm just not using them at the moment, so I'll borrow them to you. On the deal that they would buy a case for the one. So I said, it's just a soft bag, 10 quid, just to keep the guitar in while you've got them. So I lent this person the guitars, and they had them for like a year. And then I said, right, it got to a point where I said, right, okay, you've either got to buy them or I've got to get them back because I need some money. The person had basically kept one of my guitars in a bin liner.
What?
And they were taking it to practice in a bin liner. And everywhere they went, in a bin bag. And the guitar was racked off. It was chipped. It was broken. There's bits racked off. Instead of paying someone good to set it up, they paid someone cheap to set it up. And they broke things, stretched the strings. It was screwed, basically. And then instead of going to buy them, he tried to give them me back. And I said, sorry, no way.
That's outrageous.
No way. So I'm furious. This guy's in a band with me. In the interest of peace, the drummer and the bassist had to march this guy to the cash point and make, because they knew he had money, but he was just cheap, and get him to pay me for these guitars, and he kept them away from me. But I was furious. But anyway, back to your thing.
I think yours is worse, mate, because the difference is something actually happened in your case.
What they're trying to do, I mean, I don't know how they know you, so I'm just making an assumption. But you probably, I'd say, one of the only people in that area or in that place that has got the interest in that sort of music and things like that. So I'm not saying where you are or anything like that, but they probably know you've got a bit of gear. So they're thinking, oh, he's got a bit to spare. Let's try it on a bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it really drives me nuts. And I think it's just like the pushiness of it and the I don't know. I think it's just crazy. But I mean, the good side of this, of course, is you can just say no, and that's the thing. You just sort of or just leave it, and that's kind of what I do.
Feeding on your sort of, because they know you want to play music.
Yeah,
that's what it is. So sort of feeding on that. Sort of,
yeah.
But yeah, the stuff with your wife, I don't get that. I don't get what that's all about.
It's just ridiculous, and I mean, don't they think that if she wanted to do music, she should have been doing it, right? So, it makes sense. And we do. When we played together on the weekend, myself and that. But that's when we get time. It's not like all the time. That's rare. That's a rare occurrence. It might go weeks and weeks before we do that. We have some fun. We play something, and then it'll be when we get chanced again. So we don't really get time to play together. And I think like an ultimate situation where work doesn't get in the way and life doesn't get in the way, we probably would do a music project together, and I think we will at some point, but it's just not on the cards right now, you know what I mean, or in the immediate future. And that's just life. That's just how it is. And I think for someone who doesn't understand what it's like to have family and work and stress, and it's kind of like, I don't get it. How are you an adult?
I always find it's the people who've got the least responsibilities and the least to lose have always got something to say about how people who work hard and earn their money and put things that why are you having holidays for? Why are you spending your money on holidays? Because I work fucking all year to pay for you as well as myself, and if I didn't have to pay for you, it'd be less stressful, have a bit more money, and I'd be a lot happier. but I have to have these holidays, or I'm literally going to climb a clock tower with a Uzi and just gun you all down. It's pretty much what's going to happen. So you get people always trying to tell you what you should be doing, and it's wrong. Only you should really, you shouldn't have to answer to people.
No.
If you're living honestly and you're living in a way that makes you happy, and as long as your family's okay and everybody's okay around you, you're comfortable, you shouldn't have to. It's one thing I learned a long time ago. Bands seem to attract. You get two kinds of people. You get good, honest people. Sometimes they haven't got a lot of money, but you can kind of look past it because they're quite talented and you want to help them out, which I've done many times. I've paid for practices. I've given equipment away. I've helped people out. And sometimes it's paid off. Sometimes it's just been like that in my face.
Yeah.
I've let people live with me just to help them out. And it's been like that. And then you get people who, the other side is like degenerates, basically, who just, they love the scene. And then now people who are in it are passionate, so they take advantage, or now there's a lot of, it attracts some people because there's a lot of bad side, there's a lot of alcohol. Alcohol's great, but it's great in the hands of people who can sort of, we're a bit older now, so we can sort of, enjoy it, but it's a lot of around music, there's a lot of alcohol and drugs and things like that as well, which I've always tried to distance myself from that. But I know a lot of people who didn't. I mean, I ain't innocent. I've had a lot of drink over the years and things, playing shows and getting crazy and stuff. But I always had a point where I said enough's enough, because I know I needed to. I don't know, that element of control. I was always sort of in my bands. I was always said to be the one who had to say no. Yeah. And it was sort of like, I don't know, I'd always be the one to get the stick because I was the most outspoken. Yeah. But you know what? We're all still alive, I think. So
that's the thing, isn't it? That's the thing. I mean, I think when we were younger, we all did crazy stuff, and then you sort of you grow up, and it's not to say don't make mistakes or slip up, but there's a difference between that and living that way, and having a crazy life. So I think that's the thing, we matured. So no, that's it really. It feels good to say all that stuff out, get it out there, because maybe people watching will go through similar experiences to some of the things you've said and what I've said, and they'll go, oh right, okay, these things happen, and you've got to watch out for people like that. And I think that's a useful thing to
my advice is just, and I say I've not been like a superstar or anything like that. I've played in some good bands, some great bands that are still going now. I've sessioned with. We've had some great times, and my advice is, if you're gonna play heavy metal and you're in it to try and get money or get rich, it's not going to happen.
No.
And I know that's probably like a bit of a bold statement to say, but when it starts becoming about the money, it's just not fun anymore. And if you think that you're going to like leave your day job and go and
it's a pipe dream.
It's a pipe dream. I mean, there are bands that do it. I know bands that they'll work a bit in the day, then they'll be in a tribute band of the night, and then they'll play their music, which is their passion, which I think's great because you're getting a bit of both worlds. So you can be a musician, you can make a living off being a musician, but you have to be very versatile. You have to be prepared. You have to be able to work with a lot of different people. You have to be
disciplined.
To be disciplined, you have to travel a lot.
It's hard if you've got a lot of responsibility, really.
Yeah, if you've got a normal job, and you've got your mortgage and your family and all that stuff, it's tough. I know a lot of guys who do it, so I'm not saying it can't be done. Yeah. But all I'm saying is, if you love it, do it. If what you love and you absolutely think, yeah, this is great, do it, because it is brilliant. But if you're thinking that you're going to be a millionaire, or like, it's just not going to happen.
It's not. All right then, shall we look at some guitar stuff? Then we're going to talk gaming, and we'll talk about some bands.
Awesome.
Do you want to go first, mate?
What are we doing? I forgot what we're doing. Guitar stuff now.
Show us your Tremonti.
Tremonti. Oh yeah. Bit of a funny one, this. It's just a Tremonti SE. I think it was a 2004, made in Korea. I'll actually tell you, it's on the back of the neck. Made in Korea, yeah.
Nice.
So this is quite nice. It was an SE. It was the SE line. It was Mark Tremonti's signature SE. But I did have a very nice version of this. I had one of these exact guitars, and it had locking tuners, and everything was black. It had a Shaler 456 quick tuner, which I'm having fitted to my Les Paul, hopefully. I've changed them for top hats because they're my favourite. The black top hats, the bigger ones. And I basically bought this as a shell. I think I got it for like £100, and it had no hardware, had nothing with it. And I bought all these bits and put it together. Even the screws, there was no screws. I had to use all different screws that I found. And it's good. It's a nice guitar. I put an EMG solderless kit in, but I'm getting a bit of buzz on it. I think it's literally because of probably how it's been put in. I mean, it's all neat and tidy inside, but it's just not. It doesn't seem to be playing nice, and it needs a bit of a setup. But I do love single cuts, and I do love this guitar. I love the neck profile. It's quite thin.
Sick. It's nice. And you put some tuners on, have you?
Yeah, I put some the Vanson.
Some lockers.
Locking tuners.
Nice.
They're very nice. And it just plays quite nice, you know what I mean?
Nice. So it just really needs to get those pickups sorted, and then that's another one we've got in the
It's another one for the
project. Like it. Coolio. Well, I've been doing a similar thing actually on a guitar I got second hand from a shop in Shrewsbury. Shrewsbury. This one is, this is the Fender Telecaster Classic Vibe Squire. So it's Chinese, got a little bit of weight to it, so it feels a bit less polished weight wise, but you have to excuse me using the strap because I'm crap without one. And my strap on. I like this guitar. It's good. I've used this a little bit for practice. I've had it for quite a while, and but I didn't like the vintage style tuners that came on this.
I don't like them either.
Yeah, they're just a pain to restring, and that irritates me, to be honest with you, because I'm lazy and I don't like spending a long time looping it through the top of them. Unfortunately, I've got a few guitars with that, so I'm going to have to do this to all of them. But I thought I'd start off with this one. So myself and the wife on the weekend actually did this. It was probably about a month or 5-6 weeks ago. I got the old Dremel out and had to make the holes bigger.
Yeah.
On the headstock. So I did that and put the masking tape on, got all the old tuners off and everything. So did that and got all the old strings out. And then this weekend, the wife helped me to level these up, hold them in place, and we scored it with the for the pilot holes. And I had to get some new drill bits because you need the tiny ones to do that. And then these are interestingly Vansons, which are my first time using them. Same ones that I think you've just fitted. Different
very
set,
good.
Probably, because these are the inline ones. So
they're the inline, yeah. They're the
yeah.
Very nice, yeah.
That's those. And
these are the I'll just put them a bit closer for you so you can have a look.
Yeah, they got the same kind of swirly thing on the back, I think. So they're similar.
They're very
don't
good
have that. They've got the grippy bit on instead.
Yeah, they're very good quality.
Yeah.
I've been very happy with them. The tone, they hold the tuning so well, really well.
I think that's the key thing with your tuners. That's the whole purpose. And I think, they're just they're quicker to string as well. which is always the added bonus. I mean, this one goes out of tune a bit because obviously the brand new strings as well, so they're settling in on it. So you can expect a little bit of that. It's in the right place, so I can see. But just so it's gone out a little bit because I only played it a bit to stretch out the strings after doing it.
Oh, excuse me. You're not boring me. I'm just really tired.
It's all right. So yeah, I mean it's and the thing is I bought a load of new strings as well because I kept running out, and I like to change my strings, particularly on these guitars if I've been practicing on them a lot, or if it's one that hadn't been changed in a while. I just feel like it warrants. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a new one's on. Yeah, you can tell these are new because the way they feel on my thumb. So one of the things I've noticed is since I've changed this, that's done him. I need to do a new setup on this guitar because obviously things have been realigned a little bit, having the strings off, the tension off the neck. So I'm going to give it a setup on the bridge as my next sort of little project on it. And then I think, to be honest, after I've done that, it's going to be pretty sorted, which is nice. But yeah, I mean, I do really quite enjoy these guitars. So sorry, mate.
Gibson the weekend.
The Gibson on the weekend, yeah, absolutely. So that was a lot of fun. I mean, I hadn't got that out in a while, I think, because of moving. You know, we had the builds into moving stuff about in the house. I just wanted to keep that safe out of the way for that, as you do in that situation. And I think as well, it was a case of trying to, rearrange the house somewhat as well. So things didn't even all go back in the same place as they used to be. And that kind of took a little bit of work to figure out where things were going to go. So that was a bit of a pain, but it paid off. So, and it was nice as well seeing you play because, you did a little bit more justice than me.
No, it's just once I get going, that's the thing. Once I pick up a guitar, I just plug into an amp. On.
Yeah. A lot of fun. And yeah, you were really playing some cool stuff. And I don't think I'd ever plugged it into that Black Star actually. In fact, I know I hadn't. So that was interesting as well to hear how it could sound.
No, it was a nice amp that Black Star. I really liked that. I was my first experience playing through Black Star stuff. I've seen it, but I've never actually played through it. And for a smaller amp, I was shocked with how great it sounded.
I play through a lot of Black Stars. I've played through them at the shows though. Every year you go to the show. You've got to come next year. February it'll be.
I will come to that next year.
Fantastic. We'll get to play all different stuff there, and the Black Star stuff's great. I played one very similar to one of your amps actually. That's got the true valve sounds built in. It's not a valve, but it sounds like it. That technology. I played one of those as a Black Star. And I've played the little heads, the little valve heads. They got them there. My brother's got two. I think he's selling one actually. But he's got the big combo one as well. He's got it's the Deluxe, the Cub Deluxe, I think, special edition one. That is ridiculous. Ridiculous. I think it's about 40 watts, but it's ridiculously loud and it sounds amazing. So I played quite a few different Black Stars, but this is the only one I've had, which is the ID Core 40 watts of solid state, but it's got the twin 6-inch speakers on it in stereo. And I think that's what gives it a lot of its poke, is that stereo. So while it's not going to compete with a valve amp for volume, this particular one, other solid states might, but this one doesn't. But for practice though, for bedroom levels, built-in effects, it's a good laugh, and I think, you know, it was fun watching you play that, to be honest, and you did some good tunes.
Yeah, it's weird because I haven't played a lot of that stuff for a long time, so it was a bit shoddy in parts, you know, and you get a bit rusty, but it was fun, you know, to say the least. It was.
What have you been playing? What's been in your console?
I have been I'm normally on the Xbox One X. I got the PlayStation 4 Pro. I've been playing the PS3. I'm kind of having a bit of a. I always have a major shift. I always seem to go to Microsoft, then to Sony, then to Microsoft, then to Sony, and I think they do two different things very well. By the exclusives, I like Sony games. Just seem to be sleek. Something about them I really like. But then again, I do think Microsoft have got some, you know, heavy hitting exclusives as well. But, I've been on the old PS Vita.
Okay.
So I've actually been on the Vita. It's actually a Mark 1 Vita.
Yeah.
Which is an original one, and you can put a 3G SIM card in this, and use mobile data to an old model, so you can sort of you can use 3G on this, and I can't remember if you can make calls, but you can definitely use data and like that. I've been playing. I don't know if you can see the card. I think it's a bit small. Bit small there. It's Final Fantasy X.
Yeah.
HD remaster for the PS Vita. I've been playing that and I'm enjoying that. I've been playing.
Nice.
I've been playing Final Fantasy VIII, the original PS1 game.
Yeah.
So I've been playing that on the Vita. I've been really enjoying that.
How long have you been playing it?
Well, I had the game. Well, it's 20-year anniversary actually this year, and I've got my original copy on the shelf up there, which my aunt bought me like 20 years ago for my birthday when I was like 14. I still got that up there, and there's a funny thing behind Final Fantasy VIII. It's the only one that has not been in the line of reissue. There's the reissues have come out. For the Switch and the Xbox One and the PS4. They came out on the PS4 sooner, but they've not done 8.
Okay.
7, 9, 10, and 12. And I think there's another one which I can't remember, but I'll remember it. But Final Fantasy VIII. Apparently, the reason they haven't done it, a remaster of it, is because they can't find the original source code. It's gone. The remaster of 7 was from an old. They found one of their old employees from 1996 or whatever, 95, 96, had an older version of the game on one of his backup drives, and they managed to get it and use it. Apparently, there was all different scenes in it, and it wasn't the final version, so they had to use that, cut it up, and make another final version. And there's some things in it that are gone. They're not in there. And I was talking to Nat about this the other day. I don't know if you were there. You were in the front room, and I was saying, "Do you remember this bit? We had to press 2 buttons."
Yeah.
It's not there. But FFA is one of my favourite ones. It's sort of like neo punk. They all dress in like leather and like fur coats, and they've got gun blades and all kinds of different magic, and it's like modern but really cool game. Loving it. As I say, I played it all them years ago, and I think my save on the memory card. In fact, have a look at this. This is a bit of history. This is the original Final Fantasy VIII memory card that you got on the PlayStation, and I don't know if you can see that with the
just about. It's a bit blurry.
With this gun blade on there, it's a bit yellowed.
Cool.
That is the actual official Sony with the Final Fantasy VIII sticker that came.
Yeah.
On there, my save is about 150 hours, something crazy like that. I still haven't finished it on that. So I never finished it. never actually finished the game. So
Yeah.
done about 13 hours on that so far.
Oh,
So I'm
okay.
getting quite far. I'm a lot better at it than I used to be.
Yeah.
And I understand what people are talking about now, and like the dialogue. When you're a kid, I
Yeah.
don't think you read the dialogue very much. You just skip everything.
No, that's right. Yeah.
Get absolutely hammered. But now I'm reading the dialogue. I've read the tutorials, and now I'm absolutely smashing it. And there's a brilliant card game on there. I don't know if you want to look this up. It's called Triple Triad. It's one of the most addictive card games within a game you can possibly play. Honestly, you can pretty much anyone in the game, you can walk up to them and press square, and they'll play you in a round of cards. You've got to collect all the cards.
That's cool.
It's awesome. Yeah, I'm loving it, mate. A bit different. Bit of it's not the most popular console in the world. It never really had a great start, but in Japan, this was mega.
Yeah.
So many JRPGs out for this. Some crazy stuff.
That's awesome.
Bit pricey though. The games are very expensive. They can be, but
yeah. That's nice. Sorry?
What have you been playing?
Well, you know me, I don't get a lot of time to play normally. I've played Command & Conquer once in a month, twice in a month. So I've had to cut down because my addiction on that is out of hand. So I've only played it once in the last week, because it's a problem. And other than that, I've been playing the Odyssey still, Assassin's Creed, because big gaps in between. But I've been playing it this week and last week, and I didn't play it the week before or the week before that, I don't think. So I quite enjoy it. So one of the things I like is going with the bird, and you're sort of flying around, checking everything out and marking things. That was a lot of fun. And I've got some of the bigger towns now, ancient Greek towns, and I'm a history buff and I love ancient Greece. So seeing all the recreation of all of that is awesome. And they got Athens down there, which I've seen, and it's just beautiful seeing the Acropolis and the Pantheon and all that stuff recreated as it would have been, kind of. I really appreciate that. So that's good. I've leveled up a bit, so I don't get my ass handed to me quite as much on some of the stuff I'm doing now. On other things I still do, so that's kind of awesome as well. I've seen a giant who I definitely can't fight at the moment in a cave, so that's interesting. So there's quite a few things about the game I'm really enjoying, and that's a lot of fun. Starting to get hang of how you do the upgrades on the game as well. I bought Nat for Mother's Day a game called Lilo and Stitch, and it's on the original Xbox. And I bought that, and on the disc, she got the disc because she collects Lilo and Stitch stuff, and she's been playing a little bit of that along with her Kingdom Hearts, so I get to watch her, play that game. And as you know, we've got the two screens in our room, so the one is on the Xbox One while the other's on the PS4, and we swap over and play different stuff, kinda. So there's games that I kind of play vicariously through her because I won't play them, but I see her play them, if that makes sense. That's quite a common kind of theme. That's pretty much it for me on the gaming front, but I have been enjoying that. Probably Assassin's Creed, probably more than I've enjoyed a game in a good while, I would say. So that's good. And of course the new one is going to be Viking themed, so that's looking forward to that big time when that comes out. To be fair, so Nat's been playing on the Switch as well a little bit. She's got the Smash Brothers on there.
It's a good game, that.
Yeah, so there's a few things. So let's talk about, just finish off, bands then. So what do you want to talk about? I've got a couple of things in mind about bands. So you go first. What?
You're actually having a bit of a renaissance wave for me. I forgot, when you just forget about bands and you don't listen to them anymore. Just sort of, you put a track on and you're like, whoa, forgot how good that was.
Yeah.
Still Remains, a band called Still Remains. They've done 3 albums.
And do they still remain?
They still remain, but I think they got families and things and sort of settled down a bit, and then they do play, but not as much, and they do the odd tour and things like that. But they're a very good band. They were on Roadrunner. They were getting very hype at the time, very big. On the metalcore wave, they sort of come out at the same time as Trivium. They were in that vein. and the music was great. It had the keyboards in, which was like always a bit Euro metal, you know, Children of Bodom-esque. They had a bit of that in. They had a bit of the guitars, the singing. They had everything for me, and I really liked their albums. It was called The Serpent, one record I really liked. And I forgot the name of the other album, but the song was called The Worst Is Yet to Come. I had to sing. If you heard it, you'd know it straight away if you heard it.
Yeah.
They're a great band, and I sort of got back listening to that sort of vibe, and then it sort of leads you on another journey, like you remember, like all that stuff you used to listen to, like I've been listening to like Lamb of God again.
Yeah, man. I love it.
I'm having an affair with Lamb of God. Like I'll listen to them for so much, and then I'll stop for a bit, and then I get it back, and I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, you just need to, you know what I mean? Just
yeah. I remember back when they were called Burn the Witch. I remember back. They good stuff. That old stuff's really good, but I love their new stuff. And there's
Burn
not
the Priest.
Burn
the Priest?
Burn the Witch, was it? Burn the Priest, one of the two.
Burn the Priest.
Was it?
Burn the Priest. Yeah, I remember the EP. They've just done an EP as Burn the Priest recently, haven't they?
Yeah.
It's a covers record. Sturm und Drang was the last one, I think, the album.
That's right. Because they had Chino on one of the songs, didn't they?
Yeah.
That's
fun. Good. I like the two before that. I do. Wrath.
Yeah.
With Set to Fail.
Yeah. Set to Fail's a great track. I saw him do it live. I went to see him play in Wolverhampton, and it was a great show. Really good show. Randy's vocal, man, just off the hook live. You know,
saw them on the Sacrament album tour.
Yeah.
In 2007. That's how long ago this was. And they had the biggest pit at Download, and we feared for our life because they opened for Slayer.
Yeah.
They had 3 pits instead of 1 pit, so there's 3. It was terrifying, actually, because 3 circle pits that merged into 1, and it was almost the entire crowd.
Oh, yeah. And for me, they're better than Slayer, for me personally.
You know, I think they're both different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because Slayer's like thrash metal.
That is true. I suppose it met my taste, I suppose.
You might like them more.
That's what I mean.
But in their separate fields, I think
they're probably both as good. Yeah, for sure. I prefer
personally, I do like Slayer, but not necessarily like everybody like Angel of Death and things like that. And you know, I like different ones, totally different ones. Like in the Slayer catalog, I prefer actually Slayer when they play slower.
Right.
Because I think they are heavier.
Yeah, I do like Slayer. I saw him play.
Seasons in the Abyss.
Yeah.
That's an absolute banger of a Slayer song, that is.
Yeah.
So, you know, Seasons in the Abyss, the album is just equal. It's really good. Cool. I've been listening to a lot of Thrax again, Anthrax.
Yeah, I like them. I've seen Scotty in live. He's good. Very good.
I've seen both lineups of Anthrax.
Now don't get giving me any spoilers, because I know you've watched Game of Thrones and I ain't seen the last episode yet, but I will be tonight with that. But have you seen, though, on the Fender YouTube channel, what they did for Game of Thrones theme? Did you see it?
Yeah, I did, with the guitars and Nuno Betancourt and Scotty and that. Yeah, it was
Tom
pretty
Morello,
cool.
Yeah.
I thought, yes, Tom. Did you see have you seen the video of Tom Morello?
Which one?
On YouTube. He just he's on stage. I think it's I don't know if it's a benefit concert, charity for like, I don't know if it's like a political thing or what it's for him anyway. You know, he's not political in that way, but it's sort of, you know, it's a charity that he's working for. Anyway, he goes on stage and he's got his Rage Against the Machine audio slave guitar, and he just starts jamming Rage tracks on he's got his own, and there's a bassist in the back and a drummer, but he's on his own now singing, and he's playing all the classics, and then he goes into Audio Slave, plays some Audio Slave, plays 1 or 2 tracks, starts Like a Stone.
Yeah.
Serge Tankian walks on the stage.
Yeah, I heard about this. Yeah.
And does this rendition of Like a Stone. God, he give me chills, man. He sings it so well, but it's not. I know it's not. It's not Chris, you know what I mean? But
yeah.
it's beautiful how his voice goes to it, and the performance, just the two of them there on the stage. God, it gave me chills, man. I don't get many things like that, but I watched it and it was incredible.
That's awesome.
It was a beautiful sort of tribute. That was, I thought it was very nice.
I heard about that. I haven't seen it yet, but I heard about it. In fact, I think Nat sent me the link to it today, but I was working, so I couldn't watch it because I was in meetings all day today. So I didn't get to watch it.
Definitely give that a watch.
I'll tell you what I did watch is what you were talking about on the weekends when you was here, the lightsaber update battle for Star Wars.
What?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So good. So good.
Oh, I was going to show you something, actually.
No, I am the master.
Not my penis. I don't know if you remember these. You know when the Phantom Menace came out? Right.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah.
This is a voice changer. You're talking to it, and it does it in 3PO's voice.
Oh, do it.
It's got no batteries in.
Oh.
I had to. My mom found it. But there's two things you could get. You had to send off for these. I think you had to get them with. I don't know if it was Walker's Crisps or some kind of thing. You had to collect X amount of tokens, and then you had to pay the post.
Oh, nice.
This is an R2 alarm clock.
Cool.
You put batteries in, and when the alarm goes off, he's got a torch in his head that lights up the wall, like a Star Wars logo.
That is cool.
He's yellow in now, and he's very old.
Yeah.
These are the two things that you got from the. I was, you know what I mean? Quite quirky. These.
That's very nice.
Yeah. I just thought you'd show you them. Talking about stars. Yeah, the saber fight. Go.
Nothing really to say because I mean I think probably most people watching have seen it, but for those who haven't, all I'm going to say is, check out little blue lights when I do that with my hands.
I like that.
Yeah, this is the same headset, ironically, that's in Avengers Endgame. You know, the Thor's mate. He's the rock guy. He's playing video games in it. He's wearing this exact headset. Yeah, that's a tangent. But the lightsaber thing, man, it's just so good. That's the one.
We're gonna get on this ship. Wanna come?
It's like South African accent, right?
Wanna come? Dick's dead. Oh, he's alive. He's alive. I kind of stepped on him on the bridge.
Oh, okay, great.
That's Ragnarok, you know. As a kid, even as a young kid, I mean, I remember I got the digitally remastered box set.
Yeah.
And all in black. It was black. Everything was black. And I collected videos when I was a kid, so these were like a big thing. And I got the 3 videos in that little box.
Yeah.
They were expensive at the time, you know. This is like, shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I remember I got them. There was the widescreen, the extra ultra widescreen edition. So when Luke was on Tatooine, you could see the whole screen. There's bits that were missing, and it's the first time it had ever been remastered, basically. So I had them, and I always thought that first saber fight, it sucked. It did, and I know that's controversial. I love it so much. The transition from A New Hope to Empire, the fight in Empire is incredible. I just thought that, you know, only a master of evil doth, you know,
part of the problem was that they found that Darth Vader's uniform restricted his shoulders, so he couldn't actually lift his arms up at all. He couldn't do anything up here, so everything he did was sort of here.
It was all very like that when it
and they wrote that into the fiction. They actually decided to write it in to explain it away by saying, well, actually, because of the damage he suffered, he physically couldn't lift his arms. Hence, that's what he was left doing. And
then he went full on one-handed saber fighting like the others, which was like a Sith style where they just use one hand. It's a bit like swashbuckler, you know what I mean? And they'd unrestricted his armor. He had a more modern outfit. Like he was a lot leaner when it came to Jedi.
Yeah.
A lot less ominous. I thought he was a bit leaner.
Oh, for sure. I think so.
As I say, I ain't ripping on the fight. I mean, look, it's iconic. I mean, it's you know, Guinness. It was seeing Luke, seeing him go, and it was just
Yeah.
a great scene. The whole Death Star sequence is such a, it's almost like a heist in a way. Like the whole thing. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
But as I say, that new saber fight just
So
kind of
good,
wish
mate.
that was the one. That was
So
I
good.
wish that was in it.
Well, the other thing talk about just to finish off music stuff. There's probably too much to cover, so I'm going to condense it to finish. I saw a cool band in Dud. That was cool. And that's sort of the local music. And then seeing obviously some bands with yourself playing at the festival, which was always a good laugh. And there was a young lad playing at the festival on acoustic and singing as well. I don't know if you caught him, but he was having a bit of fun. So that was good.
Yeah.
And in terms of what tunes I've been listening to, I've been listening to Devin Townsend's Empath. And man, that is brutal stuff. Have you heard any of that record?
I'll tell you the truth. I put the first couple of tracks on, and I was having a listen on Apple Music. I was I'll be honest with you, I was a bit overwhelmed. I mean, I'm used to Devin.
Yeah.
I am used to him, but I have to be in the right frame of mind.
Yeah.
Just be a bit. It's all like his mind, just because
Yeah.
I thought it was great. I like Devin anyway. We've seen Devin actually together.
We have, yeah.
You remember? I think it was about 2000 and God, maybe 2012. Huh?
Yeah, something like that, about 2012, something like that.
It was the Fear Factory and Devin Townsend dual headliner, and it was
VTP, wasn't it? Devin Townsend Project, I think it was then.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was
an epic show.
Industrial something tour, wasn't it? It was something.
Yeah.
Incredible. I got to see Gene Hoglan play drums for Fear Factory.
Yeah. I liked it.
Stroud. Do you know?
Yeah. Oh man, that was so good.
You know, I found out after, which really disappointed me. Gene Hoglan, he didn't like being in Fear Factory at all.
Really?
He did. Yeah, he didn't want to do it. He only did it because Byron Stroud asked him to. But he basically came in and he was on a wage.
Yeah.
He was doing it, he didn't get to write his own stuff. He got to play the drums and do stuff, but they literally got rid of him without telling him and just used a drum machine on the album instead of paying him.
Yeah. I heard that Dino Cazares had actually programmed all the drums.
Yeah, he did. And I business is business, etc. But Gene Ogland's like one of the best metal drummers in the world. He plays in Testament, for God's sake. He's played in Death Angel. I think, is he Death Angel? I'm sure it's Death Angel, or it's one of the others.
Yeah.
I think it is. He's been in just everything. He's such a good. I think he's the current drummer for Testament, which I love. I think they're one of the best.
Yeah, they are good bands. I do like Testament. I like all those sort of era bands, to be honest, because I think they still had a freshness about them that we don't always get now.
I like the new Hell Yeah song.
Yeah, Hell Yeah is awesome.
The new Hell Yeah song is brilliant. The one that did to the tribute to Vinnie Paul.
I don't know if I've heard it.
It's just come out. It's their new single. It's heavy.
Okay, I'll have to check it. Chad on the vocal, yeah.
Yeah, Chad on the vocal. They got the guy from Stone Sour on drums.
Right.
who played for Soulfly.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yes, I forgot his name. My mind escapes me. Old age. But
That's
yeah,
cool.
they borrowed him for a bit. Heard the new Slipknot song?
Um, I can't remember. I may not have. I know it's out, but I haven't. It's a funny thing with Slipknot because it's a love-hate thing with me. I love their music, but some of the guys irritate me. But I love their music, so I will get around to listening to it. I wasn't
All right.
thrilled with what happened with Chris being kicked out of the band.
Yeah, just before a record comes out, I think it's a bit bad.
That was a bit shit.
Eventually, there's just going to be no original members because
Yeah,
all faded off.
it's getting to the point where it feels like they're just trying to strain the gnat now for a money thing. And obviously, Paul Gray was a major part of that band, and he felt he was a bit more of a, what's the word, integrity character to it. So I think losing him is a very difficult thing to maintain things after that. And I also think that while the last album was good, I don't think it was as good as their others overall.
No, was it the Grey chapter, and then they did another one, didn't they? Yeah. They've not been as good. The first two are the best. The first two albums.
Yeah. I like Iowa is good. I enjoyed that, and I liked.
I've got the most memories from them. That's the thing. I remember.
Yeah.
Heretic Anthem and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, I do like All Hope Is Gone. If I'm honest, I do like that. I like songs like Gehenna a lot. I think that's
Gehenna was good. I like Sulphur.
Sulphur, yeah. America's a killing name. I love that.
Yeah.
I like all that.
Like Butcher's Hook or something. That's really heavy as fuck as well, I'm sure.
It's
good. It all gels into one. It's just heavy. I like it.
Yeah, that's how I am with most bands actually. Their albums quite often gel into one because I like it and then I like it, so I don't worry too much. But yeah, I will listen to it, but I just a little bit put off, and it's and it's a bit like Rammstein. I'm a massive fan of their music, but I'm not cool with what their record company's doing. I don't know if it's them or the record company. I don't know the answer, but somebody involved in them is basically putting strikes on YouTube for people that put their music up or that do anything. Basically, if you cover their music, they don't like it, and it's kind of like, come on, dudes, your fans want to play your songs, your fans want to, react to it or whatever, and you stopping people from doing stuff they want to do. And these guys are buying your music, they're coming to your shows, they're buying your merch, right? I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of us are. And I can't really understand the harm it does in this social networking stuff that we do.
The truth is, it doesn't do any harm whatsoever. It's probably nothing to do with the band. It's greedy people. It's greed. They don't want anything that's classes as like a copy or anything that's going to damage the integrity of the band. They feel that's what it is. But the band actually love watching people covering their music. They get a kick off it. They actually make reaction videos of them listening to covers, and they love it. It's a great thing because it's almost like a tribute, and they see people playing the music, but perhaps in a different style to them.
Right.
But you're playing it a bit different to me. It sounds great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of an admiration to the fans, and it's a good way of connecting the fans because the fans do, especially, I'll tell you the ones like Trivium. I remember when Trivium would drop a new single, it'd be out like a week, 3 days tops. Then I turn on YouTube and there's like these two guys playing it, perfect. Like after a day.
Yeah.
As a tribute, and then the tag Trivium in it and stuff like that, and sometimes they get recognised, sometimes they're not. But I don't feel in today's climate that then bands can afford to be like they used to be, like we're the band and we're signed to EMI and blah blah blah, and you're the people and all that stuff like that. That don't work no more. Literally, they're involved. Yeah. You have to be engaged. If you watch Matt Heafy from Trivium, He's got his own YouTube channel. He's
Yeah,
always
I've
playing
seen
guitar.
that. It's awesome. Yeah.
Always putting new content, and he's always playing guitar. And the fans love it because they can engage with him in a way that allows Trivium. It's a voice, so he can on that channel say, well, oh, Trivium's dropping a new record now.
Did you see he did that guitar battle thing with Jared Dines? Did you see that?
Yeah. Really good, really good.
I love it.
Jared Dines, yeah, he's a good guitar player.
Yeah. Oh, that was a lot of. It's entertaining to see two guys that good. You know, I went to see Trivium with Tim. You know, when we was down and we went in the shop to bother that chap, and me and him we went to Birmingham and we saw Trivium's favourite band, and that was a great show. That was fun. Yeah, it was really good. I think there's a lot of good bands on tour. Speaking of which, just to finish, because I guess we've reached the end of our time, but a show that we're looking forward to, Static X.
Yeah, Static X. I'm also looking forward to Soil.
Yeah.
I've seen them for many years with the original singer, which I'm very happy, Ryan. Wednesday 13 and Dope.
Yeah.
Dope, very good. Yeah, Static X. I've got mixed emotions about this gig, mate. I'm I'll say worried. I don't know if I'm worried is the word or excited. I think it's going to be good. They still haven't confirmed who the singer is, have they? Everyone's saying it's Dope Singer, aren't they? They're saying it's Dope Singer dressed up. He's calling himself Zero or something.
With an X.
Yeah, he's calling himself Zero, and he doesn't want to be identified because he's not. He doesn't feel he's part of the band's history, but he just wants to help them perform. Kind of get it. I can understand why a few people might be a bit upset about it. You know, it's genuine fans. Genuine fans, probably like of Wayne Static, etc., would be mixed emotions.
I think Wayne would kind of be down with it because it's what you said earlier, that they want to see their music kept alive, and there's not that many artists out there covering Static X and bands like that. So to get the original members, surviving members together with some help,
it's very special.
Carry on.
It is special. I think we're lucky to see it. I don't think they're going to do another one after this. I don't think it will carry on myself personally. I'd like to say it would, but I can't see where it's going to go. Like, this is a celebration of their music.
Yeah.
I can't see it moving forward without all four of them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the answer. I mean, I know that they've released this new record with some bits of unreleased stuff.
Project Regeneration, it's called. They've actually they were getting ready to release it, and apparently they found, I don't know if it was a hard drive or some more discs with more vocal on. So they're using more vocal than anticipated. So they're taking the guests, cutting the guests back and putting more vocal on. Yeah. It's about 50-50 apparently now. It's got even more.
That's awesome. That's really cool. I mean, I would like to see them still do another album with guests, because I think nobody sounds like these guys.
I would like to see an album with guests. I don't think I'd like to see an album with this new dude. It don't seem right. Something ain't right there. I'd like to see, for me, that's my personal opinion though. You might feel different.
I don't really feel anything. I don't really know how I feel about it.
I like Static X many years ago. I was into them. It was one of the bands that sort of got me. My friend Steve, I was into them big time, and their music, Push It, and just them kind of first three albums really. I got up to The Shadow Zone. I think the album was called. I really liked, and then I sort of dropped off after because I sort of changed what music I like. I was into like Kill Switch Engage. I've always been into Switch, On Earth. It was kind of a band that bridged me into others. Like through them, it was like I had like Fear Factory. I had all your compound bands, and then they like branched off, didn't they? Had like Fear Factory and Static X were like similar.
Yeah.
Soulfly.
Well, they sound completely different, but they're both industrial. They're both same genre, I think, and they're probably the top.
Not many good ones anymore. But I'm excited about the show. I mean, I'm not being negative about it at all. I think it's going to be great. I think we have a great night. I'm excited for it. We've got a hotel after, so we're going to go have some drinks and get drunk and shit. You know what I
mean? we're going to be out clubbing it that night. That's going to be
mate. It's got to be done. It's we are doing it. We booked the hotel. It's done.
Yeah,
done deal. It's
looking forward to it. And of course, we got the show coming up as well in Wolvo, haven't we? The festival.
Yeah.
That's sooner.
I forgot about that. That's the party in the park thing, isn't it? The come on, WV1 Fest.
Yes. Yeah, that's July, isn't it?
It's tribute acts, isn't it? It's all tribute acts, but it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic for a good couple of days. Yeah. Bit of nostalgia wave.
It is. I'm definitely be having a few drinks then as well, I think.
Oh mate, it's got to be done. It's got to be done.
The kids are coming for one day. They didn't want to do two, so they're going to come for one day.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to do Saturday, and then Sunday they're going to chill.
The Saturday's the heaviest day, and then the Sunday's the rock day.
Yeah.
Rock. You got Pearl Jam esque and more. But I'm definitely doing both days.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. We're going to be there for both days. Yeah.
I'll probably be there a bit later on the second day because I'll be hungover.
I'll still be there from the previous.
I reckon it'll be a get your sun cream out job.
Could well be.
I reckon it's going to be a hot day, that one. So I think it's August. That's August, that is.
August. Yeah, it's the weekend before TFN, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, it is. Because we got next month. We've got Retro Revival, which me and Hank are doing. You're thinking of doing it, aren't you? But you're not sure.
That's one in Walsall, is it?
Walsall, the Walsall Football Club. So Retro Revival. I've done that the last 2 years, and I did one a couple of years before.
Yeah.
Special, really good. I love them on video games, so it's just ideal. Great convention.
Yeah.
Well worth the money.
I'll see if I can do that. Should be able to.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And then we got quite a few bits coming up, haven't we?
Yeah, it's going to be quite a busy year, I think. Quite a lot going on.
Hopefully once we can get some music finally recorded.
Yeah, that is the other thing. Get your guitar sorted out and we're ready to rock, I think, so that's good.
We'll have to do a demo or something. I hope we can do a demo. So
cool. Well, actually, I tell you what, let's finish this and then we'll have a little chat about that. That sounds like a good idea if you've got 10 minutes.
Yes.
All right then. So thank you everybody for watching. This has been a lot of fun and another good episode. So we look forward to seeing you on the next one. See you later.
Adios.